It's amazing attending MWC for the last 3 years now, and the MEF Connects events, how mobile ecosystem has developed. I think we predicted this maybe 2 or 3 years ago, how innovation, mobile money, consumer trust and privacy was going to really drive the mobile ecosystem over the coming years. And MEF has been spot on in terms of those predictions, and we're really seeing some of those key themes in MWC. Some of the multi-billion organisations wanting to develop on innovation, on trust, and on m-commerce. And so that's some of the key things that we're talking about with our members, and some of the key initiatives that we're undertaking. But it's amazing how every company out there now has to have a mobile proposition, but it's not necessarily a mobile phone, whether it's a tablet or big data, Internet of Things issue, anything that's connective. And that's why really, in terms of the ecosystem, it's not just mobile, it's all of those business consumer facing offerings that need to link in as part of the ecosystem. So it's a very much a broad brush approach, but every company out there has to be involved with these discussions, because they're either collecting data or using data, or offering their services on apps or on mobile web, or connecting with other devices. So it's really relevant, up-to-date developments that everyone wants to be part of and everyone's talking about. Well, it's amazing that every week now there's a privacy issue in the press. I mean, this week the CEO of Apple was talking about privacy being a fundamental right. We've had these huge developments with data breaches, especially in the US, with Uber and with Secret, with Whisper. There's been some key issues there, and every company, whether it's from a PR perspective or from a user trust perspective, is talking about privacy, because it's a fundamental driver of how people adopt and use your services. So with MEF, even 2 years ago, we launched appprivacy.net, which is a fantastic tool for developers, whether they're a small gaming developer or a multinational company, to incorporate just a user-friendly, very transparent privacy policy, which just shows you what data is collected. That can be incorporated into your app and used and developed from that privacy. We've talked about consumer trust, and we've undertaken the MEF research for the last 3 years now. We've undertaken surveys in terms of 15,000 people across 5 continents, what drives them and how they adopt with their mobile devices. We've seen that trust, 40% of people see that trust is a crucial issue in terms of their adoption of and utilisation of mobiles, and whether or not they're deciding to download apps and use services. So this is the key driver. And then linked to obviously that privacy trust element is, what are users being offered to deal with that? Are there specific apps that can prevent their data from being shared? And very much that's the key driver in terms of consumer trust, knowledge, transparency, information, and enabling them to make a conscious decision, because they know how their data is being used and where it's going.
So do you think consumers become more savvy, more aware of the value of their data and the fact that they're in some kind of value exchange? So flashlight apps aren't for free. There are data points where information is collected. Do you think the consumer understands that transaction?
Well, yes and no. I think that's a double-edged sword, because some of the MEF research recently stated that 35% of users believe they don't share information through the apps, whereas some of the experts know that every piece of interaction, every piece of data that you use with an app or a mobile device, there's some form of data being collected. But at the same time, we've seen, especially in the last 2 to 3 years, increased knowledge and awareness from users that they realise that it's an exchange in terms of their data in exchange for a service or a free service they may be providing. So that awareness across the globe is increasing on a country by country basis, and businesses and propositions have to react to that, and they have to provide those tools and that transparency and openness to the users to say, look, if you want to use our product, this is what we do, and that drives adoption, and that obviously drives revenue and sales for those guys. So it's hand in hand in terms of users being confident to use those services because they're aware of what's happening with their data. I work with MEF as part of InMobi. InMobi isn't a mobile network. We receive about 6 billion ad requests a day, and in Q4 last year we encountered 1 billion users. So crucially for us as an ad network, we come across billions of people a day. So as part of our day-to-day interaction with users, we have to have that trust element. We have to have that users have to be confident that the data we're receiving about them is collected, used and shared in an appropriate manner. So hopefully being part of MEF and attending these events, and as the head of privacy at InMobi, I can make sure that InMobi, as well as all the other major companies out there collecting data, does it in a transparent and open manner.